There it goes. Welcome, everybody, to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and this is where we talk about anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers wherever they may shoot. Well, as you can see, it's me, myself, and I. My co host had some stuff going on, but I happened to call, so I made a phone call. What is it? Can I call a friend? So I got some help. He's not seen the show notes, so I'm going to run all the show notes, but he's just here to play off of what I got to talk about. So, in no further ado, the guy that I picked up off the side of the road, where did he go? It's kicking back in. There he is, Curtis Broadnax. What's up, Curtis? He's trying. Look, it kicked him. Of course, he's got internet problems. Doom, doom. It's not acting right. Hello, there you go. Wait, Curtis. Dang it. Maybe. Hello? Nope. Hmm. He was just there. I lost him. I see a face.
I'm here.
Now, what
Hello.
happened? There it goes. What
I
happened?
don't know. There you go. I was here the whole time. That was weird.
It's dropping in and out. But anyway,
Uh,
I found this guy on the side of the road. Y'all might have seen him on the shoot down this past weekend for ASA. He shot 514s back to back. Hello, Curtis. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Robbie couldn't make it today, so I thought, well, I can. I knew we had talked earlier today, and I knew you was out doing some of that side work, bush hogging, and whatever it is you brush mowing, I guess is what it is, and it's forestry work and cleaning up. It's like, hey, man, you want to get on the podcast? So here you are.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Yes, sir. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So let's just get into it. We always usually ask Robbie how his weekend was. So I'm just going to ask you how your weekend was, Curtis.
And my weekend was very, very good. I shot we had a tough course or tough ranges on the power line, and then fortunately I was able to move up two spots in the shoot off. So very,
Yes.
very happy about that.
Yes, you did. I watched it all. I thought it was pretty cool, even with the blue screen that the with the
Yeah.
satellite truck acting up. Now you can watch it all on YouTube, all unaggravated, undone. So that's a good thing. But yeah, so my weekend was I worked Saturday and I watched the shoot down when I left the shop, and then Sunday I did some honeydews. So I didn't do much of anything. And so we usually I run down the list and so like, who shot this weekend? Well, we just talked about it. ASA was in London. We had 11 archers from Georgia in the top three.
That's pretty
So
good.
so Barry Moon in the senior masters class finished first. David Hesty in the men's open 45, he finished first. Landon Waters in the young adult pins male was second. Blake Garrett in the Eagle pins boys was second. Bruce Waters, men's open 45, he was second. Mark Woods in the senior men's was second. David Parsons in the super senior. No, I just hope I can shoot when I'm in super senior. You know what I mean? I like David, but and those guys, but man, I just want to be able to do it. So the next guys that were in third place, Jonathan Caldwell up there in men's hunter 45. Johnny Garrett in the crossbow class. Walker Scarborough in the men's open 40. And then Curtis Broadnax that went in fifth and came out third for the senior pro class. Yes, sir. I tell you what was funny is you started with the Panther, right?
Yeah, and
And hit a little low.
uh, Yeah, I fumbled the bag on that
But
one.
but you're not. But what's funny is everybody else fumbled the bag too,
I
and they
know it.
almost hit in the same hole that you had. I mean, they all were right there underneath it. I mean, I don't know why. If it was so, I man, I hate to ask you, but I mean, was it just what y'all saw? Because it
No,
looked like
I
it.
made a piss poor shot. I
Okay,
hit. I probably hit. I mean, I was probably aiming. I was pretty sure that I was aiming on the 14,
okay,
and when I went to make it fire,
it
it
just
dipped out.
dipped out.
That
But it
that was.
so happens that everybody else dipped out too.
I know
So,
it.
um, but anyway, we had four archers in the top five. Stephanie Wallace in the women's pins 30 finished fourth. Brody Broadnax in the Eagles Open finished fifth.
Hmm.
You know that kid?
I might know that kid.
Charlie Weinstein in the men's pins 40 finished fifth, and Zach Heel in semi pro. So he's coming up to work his way, which work his magic in guessing yardage. Um, so you like I said, that's pretty darn good. 11 archers in the top three, four more in the top five. Can you guess how many in the top 10 after 6 through 10 in Georgia?
Probably, man. I don't know. Probably what,
I'm,
20
all right, at 14.
or
There was 14. Sixth place, Gabriela Ferrero in the women's K40. Cameron Ford in the known 40. Um, Jonathan Taylor in the men's open 45. Seventh place, Kaylee Pettifer, isn't that her name? Women's pro. She finished seventh. Well, she didn't have the greatest day. She said her numbers wasn't there. Clayton Frederick in the youth open boys. Reese McRae in the youth open girls. Kaylee Garrett in the youth pins girls. That's seventh place. Eighth place, Sam Smith came in open pro. Eighth place overall. Kaylee Harmon, women's known 45, and Melindy Hawk in ninth place in the women's K45. Hugh Bryant, super seniors in ninth place. Brent Hood, men's open 45. 10th place was Michael Howell. And in 10th place was also, he was in men's open 45. And then senior known 50 was Clint Smith. So, and it's funny, I go through here and, have to collect all these names. I have to go through the list.
yeah, sure.
Wow. Um, there were a whole bunch of Georgians in that 11th, 12th, 13th place. And we just do
That-
top 10, just like anybody else. But
Does it
golly,
does it say, like, when you go and look online, does it say what state people are from and stuff like that?
yes,
Okay.
sure does.
Okay.
So everybody I named is definitely from Georgia. Um, and it tells me, and a lot of these folks I know, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you recognize a lot of those names too.
yeah, sure, sure,
So,
sure.
but if you wasn't in Kentucky, which there was a bunch of them in Kentucky, and you wanted to shoot Saturday 3D at Acorn Acres in Deering, Georgia, they had a shoot this weekend, and they had 28 archers. I had to look over my glasses there. My glasses done got dirty. So that was the 3D that was happening on Saturday, and on let's see, the North Georgia Trad. All those stick and string guys, they have their first Saturday of every month in Gainesville. And I wanted to make sure that everybody knew we messed up in our last podcast that it's not in the same place as Gainesville Archery Club. Not far apart, but it's in a different location. And they had 49 stick and stringers this weekend. So
Pretty good.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when y'all got done for the weekend, there wasn't nothing going on Sunday. So there wasn't no shoots anywhere. So and usually there's not any 3D shoots going on when there's an ASA going on. Most of the 3Ders take off because they're ASA clubs, and then they head to shoot. But there were people who left ASA, or at least some folks left ASA and ran up to Indiana to shoot the U.S. Field Nationals. They started on Monday.
That's
We
kind
had
of how they started it on Monday like that.
Yeah, well, it's a trials week year, so they have to. They're trying to make the world team.
Okay.
So they had to, shoot their whatever it is, 28 targets, 24
Mm,
targets, and they had to do all of that and then turn around and get the trials over after that because they had to get top 8. And so we had 6 archers shoot that event from Georgia. So Alex Gilliam, I can't read my darn look. That's what's bad when my darn glasses has done got all messed up. Jacob Robertson, Liam. Let's see, David Estes. He finished first. Liam, I can't pronounce that last name. I'm sorry. And recurve finished first. Alex Gilliam, you know Alex.
hmm.
He finished third, and then Jacob Robertson, he finished fourth, and then Curtis, we call him PhD, oh,
Yeah, I
because
know. I know
because we
Curtis.
have 2 Curtises that always come to the shop, right? And so you get them confused, and they are both. It's like, well, we call him Curtis B, but both names are B, so we call him PhD. PhD finished fifth overall, and then there was in Barebow Senior Women, and I can't pronounce that name. I'm sorry, but finished 11th. So six people went up there and shot, and did pretty well out of the state of Georgia. So that's pretty cool. And after it
Yeah,
was
that is.
said and done, it was world team trials, and then they take the top 8 and they have to shoot off. Or I don't know how they do it. I did 7 targets and figure it out. But Alex Gilliam made the team, so he is headed
Awesome.
to the World Field Championships.
That's awesome.
Is that ever,
Congratulations.
is that ever something you want to try to do?
No.
They have an unknown day, dude. That's what
Yeah,
messes it up.
no. I'm
That,
good.
that messes it up for me every single time. The unknown day gets me every time.
I
So,
don't I don't judge yardage.
uh,
I judge it
but
with a box. Push a button.
push a button. You let
Yeah.
the box do the work, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Electronics. But congratulations, Alex, on making the team, and
Yep.
congratulations to everybody else and all those. I mean, every time we do an ASA podcast, after an ASA, I just keep going down the list, and it's crazy how many Georgians are making the podium. You know,
Yeah, that's
I mean,
awesome.
you're looking at roughly 2,000 people, right? I
Well,
mean,
but it helps out so much with all the little local ASA shoots that we have,
hmm
and all the clubs that we have and everything. That that helps us out much because so many people are able to practice more and
yeah,
shoot
we
more,
do. We do
get better.
have a pretty good circuit,
Hmm.
if you would say, of 3D and located in all parts of the state. From the
Yep.
north to the east to the south. I mean, we talk about them all the time. And then, if a big one shuts down or one that's been around forever finally, says they're done with it, somebody else pops up and does it again. So,
That's right.
uh, and then it's crazy because we'll have like we're talking about who's shooting this weekend, right? Well, where are you headed this weekend?
I'm headed to Southern California.
That's right. You sat the
Yeah,
number 3 SoCal Shoot Down.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you hit 14s, you might as well hit the middle of the target, right? Uh,
Yeah, we'll see if it translates. Yeah.
There's definitely a difference between shooting dots and shooting 3D. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh, it's well, and then having a bow setup that's
Oh,
completely different.
yeah, it's totally
Yep,
different feel, different,
yep,
yeah,
yep, yep, yep.
weight, and you got to deal with wind. And I know you've been to SoCal multiple times. I mean, it's it could be some of the most beautiful weather. I've seen it like never rain at SoCal until it's time for SoCal shoot down.
Yep, and then the wind. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen it dead calm, and I've also seen the banner rods and stuff almost breaking
Bend
over.
over. That's right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wish you luck on that. Also,
Thank-
River Bottom Outdoors is having a 3D shoot, and they're doing it both days, so Saturday and Sunday. Um, and if you want to go shoot somewhere else, Fort Valley Gun Club down in Fort Valley, they're having a 3D shoot, and the SGTP, which is Traditional Archers in Ellaville, Georgia. That's a place for the trad guys to go shoot a bow. So, and there will be over 100 youth at the S3DA State Championship.
That's awesome. Uh,
that's where I will be watching Brody and the rest of the gang and all the other 100+ kids shooting 3D for a state championship. That'll be cool on Saturday.
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's what the sport's all about, and kids getting into it and growing the sport. It's
For
awesome.
sure. And Sunday, it looks like Kennesaw Archery Club has a 3D shoot. I think it's an ASA qualifier. Don't quote me on that, but everybody heard it. They'll go look it up and make sure. And then, the Ogeechee Bowman is having a field shoot. They do a shotgun start 9 a.m. So that's in Savannah. And that's what's going on for the weekend. So, I ran it pretty fast because, like I said, I didn't have no my sidekick Robbie. He usually reads half of it for me, so I had to read it. But let's go. Let's just get into Curtis and how Curtis is doing.
And what do you want to talk about?
I don't know, man. Tell me about your 3D season.
Man,
And
it's been really good. I had a rocky start in Foley. Didn't Had a very poor experience there. Didn't shoot very well, but then did good in Benning. Battled it out through the rain. That was good. And then so I finished second there, and then Minden. I missed the shoot off by 2 points there.
just barely
Uh,
out.
yeah, and then London, I ended up finishing third there. So
Hmm.
hopefully we can do good at the next two, man. That would be awesome. I'm sitting in third for sure of the year right now. So
You're doing well. I'm very proud of you. After not the most stellar indoor season.
that was horrible.
I mean,
let's just be honest.
just gonna say what it was. I mean, but everybody has their game, right? There's no
Yeah.
doubt. And you have been in the stream of things, right? Overall, you have shot all of it.
Yep.
You have you have world medals from indoor, right? As a youth,
Indoor 50 meter.
50-meter outdoor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you've done all of it, right?
Yeah.
And you've podiumed several times in ASA, right? As a
Yeah.
norm, right? So you've done it all. The one thing I haven't seen you do is play field. I think NFAA field would be an event that I think you would
Well,
you.
I went to it one time.
Yep.
Um, it was two or
Three.
three years ago.
Yep.
It was up in Yankton.
Yep.
I did it when they had everything there. So they had, I
Yeah. That had
believe,
the outdoor nationals and the.
yeah. I mean, it was 5 events, and
Yep.
I did it then, and I didn't do very good at it.
Yep.
But I don't know, maybe. But I don't know. 3D is my favorite, man.
I,
It's
I
something
and
about them rubber animals.
I understand that and Reading. I know you've had me and you've had this discussion. You haven't. Those are 3D animals, dude.
I know it. I know it. I need to go back to Reading, and you know what? And I might do it next year.
Well,
It's just
I will tell you this, and I will tell you this because it's wrote down on my calendar. The only event that I have tried my best to go, I am going to do next year is Reading. Do you understand why I'm going to do Reading next year for the first time? It's always been a bucket list. It's a big event, right? And it's always been a bucket list event.
I don't know why next
Next
year
year,
is the first time.
um, partly because I had other things going on, but this I will be in the senior class next year, so I don't have to deal with you and the rest of the crowd. I can just deal with the old guys like Tim and whoever else. You know what I mean? I don't mind getting beat by the old guys. All right, but at least
why,
they're old guys.
why do you mind getting beat by
I
us?
don't get mine, but is the point being is you're stronger, faster. You got
Oh,
better eyes. You look at I got glasses on. What do you got? Nothing, right? You know.
just aim at the orange blob,
Oh
man.
my
Put it in
god.
the middle of it.
Oh, um, I shot with Jazz the other week, right? And he goes, just hit it right down there, right on the top. There's a black mark right on that inside of the 12. I said, there's a 12 on that target. I was like, I'm looking for the 10, dude. And then I shoot, and he goes, "Hey, you're a quarter inch out onto the right." I'm like, "Dude, it looked like a great shot." And I said, "I can't see the dot at all. I'm just aiming toward the bottom."
well,
Them
hey, I
young
tell
guys, man, it's just crazy.
Well, Well, I tell you what, if you would have been in London, it was a pretty even playing field. It was
Well, I mean,
a lot of
everybody
not seeing.
everybody was blind. Hey, did you get to shoot Scott Favorite's favorite target? Scott Parrott's favorite target?
What's his favorite target?
Well, he posted it as he took that picture and posted it as for his event this weekend, which is the Wolverine with the log.
Wolverine with the log.
Yeah, did you see that? Or was that on
Uh,
y'all's range? I don't know whose range it was
uh,
on. It was one of the pro ranges. You know how y'all split and move. But there was a log laying across the thing, and he has a Wolverine that blends in where the shade comes in.
yeah.
It's crazy where the shade comes in, where the legs look. You can't see the target until you zoom in on the picture, and you go, "Oh, there it is." But from the back, it looks just like part of the log.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, it's. I'll have to send you the picture if you ain't seen it. It's ridiculous. I like Scott Parrott's at it again. Um, you know, there's no doubt it was funny. Like the when it was on the range with the pros or whatever, and PJ was talking. There's like, yeah, of course when Scott Parrott's setting stuff, you never know what you're gonna get. But I mean, he does a great job. That's why I told somebody else that was from. I told somebody else that's out of state. I was talking to on the phone, and he's like, "Man," he said, "those targets are crazy." I was like, "Yeah, do you understand that I get to shoot Scott Parrott's courses, and he always does a great job of making things different at his shoot." And so now he's just got it on a major scale, so he can do it as much as he wants to.
it
Um,
it it is. He does do a really really good job, and they do a great job over there at
yeah,
RBO too.
yeah.
You know,
Well, that's what I'm
and
saying. I mean, he used to do a great job just as his shoots.
yeah,
Now he has a national scene to
that's
let
right.
everybody see how great of a job he does. You don't have to make them 3,000 miles long to make them hard to hit.
No,
There's
no.
no doubt in my mind. Um,
Well, and
so
the fact that like Jimmy shot 50 up this
yeah,
past weekend in London was pretty incredible because our ranges were pretty hard.
pretty
I
dark.
mean, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy's a pretty good shot. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean, there's no doubt in my
yeah.
mind. You are in the one of the dot. I mean, those guys, if they can see it, they can hit it. I mean, you're one of
Yep.
those, right? I mean, it's one of those that you're not going to be like, I'm going to lay up on this target. Nope. there,
There's
there's
no
no,
laying up.
there's no laying
There's
up in
no
your
laying
class,
up.
dude. There's no laying up in your class, right? It's not like I'm gonna hit this short and put it in on the second putt. Nope, nope. I got to get
Well,
it now.
and you want to know something that's what an insane number this is Kyle shot 42 up, but he had eight eights
Eight eights,
and
40.
still shot 42 up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like, I mean, those numbers are just ridiculous.
I mean, if you were to make all those eights be 12s,
Yeah,
that would be 74 up for the weekend.
for sure. And
That's
then,
insane.
I mean, it's insane. But yeah, so since you're the pro and you get to shoot, who's your favorite guys to shoot with?
Favorite guys to shoot with?
Yeah, like,
That's hard.
because
That's hard. I will. You know what? I will say this though. Me, uh, Robert Householder,
yep,
Brady,
Robert's a good guy.
and then
But Barry didn't. Plankton's
Barry
he
did.
he didn't
He
go.
didn't go.
Yeah,
Uh.
I talked to him. That that may have been who I was talking to. Was Barry when I was because I talked to him today or yesterday. So
Sure. Sure. Yeah, and him, and there's like two more guys that it kind of alternates with who's there and the timing and
oh,
everything.
oh for
We
sure.
all we all try to shoot together.
You
Like
traveled with them some too, right? With
yeah,
yeah, you and Robert usually try to roll together sometimes. I knew that. So
yeah, yeah, and but we all try to shoot together on the elite precision shoot.
yeah,
On the 34, we'll shoot it like two or three times, just trying to, as well as a team shoot, just trying to make sure our stuff's right.
yeah. Well, I mean,
They're
and that's what you're
they're
supposed to
really
do.
yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not gonna put you on the spot, tell you who you don't like, because that's, I mean, it's part of. I'm not gonna do that because this thing does go out and somebody will find it. I can see it now. Like, you said you didn't want to shoot me, and it's like,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you got a Eric shirt on, right? You
Yep.
got
I
gas
sure
on, right?
do.
That
Yeah,
he's
but
that I would always say that I love to shoot with Eric.
yeah,
Eric,
he's a great guy.
he's a good guy to shoot with. You know, if it's in, it's in. It's out, it's out. He don't get on his hands and knees and turn that sucker upside down, and try to find it, which you can't do now. But at one point in time, there were people trying to take them off the stake to see if they were in or out, and that's sort of stupid to me. But yeah, and you
Either
got
either touching or it ain't.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, and this pulling the line thing.
Mm. Hey, if it's pulling the line to the shaft and the shaft is physically touching the line, then it's in.
Oh, for
If
sure.
it's
I
just
I understand,
stretching,
but it still has
I
to
mean,
touch. It can stretch
that's
it for
right.
4.5 miles, but if it doesn't
That's
touch,
right.
it doesn't touch.
That's right.
And I mean, I'm like, what's funny is like with Scott and the shoot downs, right? I mean, that camera zooms in, and everybody makes a judge on that camera angle. They didn't see it from four different places or lean over, and Scott's got a
Nope.
big, he's got a big when him to look at it, and he says it's in, and all these people say, "Oh, that one was out," or the other times when it says that was out, and everybody says, "Oh, it was in." Well, I mean, you wasn't standing there, so
That's right.
I mean,
That's
it's
right. Well, and Scott, I mean, he's gonna call it. He's got
as it is.
really good integrity. He's gonna call it as
Yep,
he would call any arrow. It
exactly.
is what it is at the end of
He's
the
a
day.
and it don't matter who shot it. He don't look at
Nope.
it as that. He's looking at it as all across the board the same. So, Scott Parrott does a great job. I appreciate what he does. I think it's pretty
Yep.
cool, and it's always funny. I give him heck every time I take pictures of him. Um, when I see him on the thing, I was like, "Look, you wasn't even smiling this time," because he's got a good sense of humor. He always
He
has.
does. He's a nut, man. He's so funny.
We're gonna shoot state championship down there at his neck of the woods this year. So he's hosting the state championship for ASA. So
Okay, when is that?
you had to ask me. You put me on the spot. July. Hold on. I'll pull up the calendar. I look. Good segue. If you need to find out information, you can find all that information on the calendar page on our website, www.georgearchery.com. And let's see, state championship is at River Bottoms on the 13th and 14th of July.
There you go, people.
So,
Now,
but yeah, the if you want to find out information, you can definitely. The website has all of that on the calendar. If you don't see your stuff on the calendar and you want it on the calendar, send me a message. You can email me at georgearchery@gmail.com. You can message George Archery on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or now it's called X, and Snapchat. Um, where else is it? Everywhere. I mean, and you can listen to this podcast on every anywhere that you can find podcasts. If you got a podcast app, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, we're there. So we're on the major ones like Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, um, and all the others. Podbean. It's on a bunch of them. But if you don't find us, send me a message and I'll get it posted to make sure it's in the searchable links. So let me see what else I wanted to say before Oh, and if you are following us or liking us or whatever, make sure you like and share our videos so that more people can see. Because like I showed up at the Appling Archers event the other week, and there was a lot of people that didn't know who George Archery was, but they do now, and which was a great thing, so that we can spread. And that's why we get more of the trad guys to send me more information so that I can talk about the traditional guys because that's a big group. You know that. I mean, in the state of Georgia,
right?
that's a truckload of folks. Um, and we've talked about other things. I tell you what, you might need to get your hunting bow and just have fun with us and go to TAC next year.
You talking about me?
Yes,
I might.
dude, that's the most fun I ever had with a bow, dude. There's, I mean, in a long time. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy ASA and I enjoy shooting 3D targets and I enjoy the. I'm like you. I enjoy the hunt. I know for a fact that you enjoy trying to, you know,
The
if
competition.
the competition, right? But that tack event, running up and down those hills, I mean, I'm a hero because I climbed a freaking mountain, and I'm not no billy goat, but I'm a fat guy, you know. But I won that event because I came out of there with only one arrow lost, and it was because I misset my sight.
Really? That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
and
What
so
about, so how many metal targets are there?
there's and on my range was one.
Okay.
So most of them only have one or two metal targets, but
Okay.
people don't lose them on the metal targets. They lose them on the limbs that are above and beside and around the targets itself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
we went down to pull arrows at this one target, which was it's pretty cool. The let's go. There were two trees that crisscrossed, and the right in the valley is where the kill zone is. Right, you
Hmm.
had to. So when we get down there, there's arrows in both trees on both sides. Right. So I mean that's what, and then limbs that are above you. I mean you have to like squat to shoot an arrow. If not, your arch is going to hit the top. I mean,
That's pretty cool.
unless you're 3'5", you know, I mean, you know. So just things like that. It's a whole lot of fun. I mean, I
Yeah.
enjoyed the heck out of it. Matter of fact, I enjoyed it so much that everybody knows. If you hadn't heard, if you ain't watching, you hadn't listened, I am going to the rally, which is the Bowtech rally. Um, and it's actually Mountain Archery Fest is hosting it, or it's their targets in July in Kentucky because
Okay.
I had so much fun at the TAC event that I was and then I shoot a bow tech so it was pretty cool to go to the it's the 25th year anniversary for them, so they wanted to do a big thing for the archers, and anybody can go now. It's open to the public, so it's pretty cool. But let's see what
Well,
else is new.
I'll probably, I do need to go to one of those TAC events just to do it.
Yeah, I think you
Because
do.
because that is pretty cool, and it's really good for the sport of archery, getting all the bow hunters together to.
Oh, it's definitely all the bow hunters. I
Yeah.
mean, we go to ASA events, 2,000 people roughly, and it's all the same family. I mean, we
Yep.
consider ourselves family. We've been there
Yep.
for many years, and I see guys from all over the state. I made great friends that I have stayed contact with. They live all over the state or this great nation for that matter. I mean, I got friends from all over, and then same thing when we shoot use at events. You meet people in a different aspect, right? It's a different group of people, and you get made friends with some of those and that kind of thing. But it's 2,000 bow hunters, and some of those guys are, man. I mean, the group in front of us. I mean, no joke. There were 5 guys in that group, and somebody missed every freaking target they shot at. I don't know if it was the same guy, but out of the 5, somebody missed. It was ridiculous. It got to the point that it was psyching out. Mark went with me. We went on Sunday.
Yeah.
And so it was psyching out Mark because Mark's like, man, that's got to be a hard target. And we step up there and goes, what's hard about this? It's 36 yards and there's actually no trees in front of this target. Or we step up and that's a 75 yard, but it's nothing there. It's like shooting on the field. But
Yeah.
I don't. It was just funny. But you get the aspect of everybody, right? Like in your class, right? Y'all all can. Everybody can hit the dot.
Yep.
There's no doubt in my mind that all of y'all can hit the dot. That's what you're there for. But in here, we get to see guys that I've never. Matter of fact, I had a young man come in get a bow set up the week before TAC. It was on Wednesday. And he said, my uncle says we're going to an archery event in Dahlonega, and he wants me to get a bow ready. Oh, yeah. I love that face. The
That
face
wasn't
that you made is perfect. But
that
that's,
wasn't going to be very good.
no. I said, well, you need at least a dozen arrows. I said, first off, and we'll get your peep set up, draw ink, poundage. We got him all set up, right? I saw him at the event. He was ecstatic on how much fun he had. I said, how many arrows you have left? He goes, 3. didn't expect anything left. The
but
boy had
but you
not
know,
shot a bow but Thursday and Friday.
yeah, but you know what? He had fun
He
doing it
had a
though. All that matters.
blast, and that was the greatest part about it. And him and his uncle went out and did something together as a group.
Yeah,
So I mean, you can't deny that that's just freaking awesome. I mean, that type of thing is what it's all about, right? And then,
yeah,
like I said, we're gonna have a great time this weekend. If everything works out, Georgia Archery. Well, we know Georgia Archery will be at the S3DA event because we go to all of them. I have some T-shirts for sale, so come by and get a T-shirt. And if all works out, there's a 3-cam system that will be set up for the shoot down. I can't have one camera for every 5 targets and people. I don't. My name's not Tack, and my pockets ain't that big. But I do have 3 cameras that I can switch back and forth to. So we'll have a camera to the archers and a camera toward the targets, and I'll have another camera that moves around and can see what they call the scores on. And so the plan is to hopefully depends on what the signal is. I'm not renting. I'm not renting a satellite truck. That's not going to work. But if depends on what the signal is, it may go live on Saturday afternoon. So keep a lookout to see if we go live. If not, it will go up as a recorded event for the S3DA.
that's
Uh,
awesome.
so that's what we're working on. We're trying to,
Well, if it were to work out, them kids would be so ecstatic
oh,
getting
for
to see
sure.
on YouTube
Yeah.
or
Well, I mean, every time we go to an S3DA event, my daughter Brittany, she comes in with the camera. She takes tons of pictures, and then I upload them to the website. And so every time we've done that, everybody has loved it. Matter of fact, there's some people who from the last event who sent me messages say, "Hey, I want the original. If you can get me the good quality, whatever," and paid a couple of dollars for a shot. And I
mm,
just that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I mean, they just like seeing their pictures. It's always cool. It's just like when you see when Cam throws y'all's pictures up and you're like, oh look, they caught me.
that's right. Well, it's awesome because you go to these tournaments and you're not walking around with a camera.
No,
I mean you're there to shoot a bow, not take pictures of not. Hey, can you take my picture real quick?
exactly. Yeah.
So
And the best part about it is they usually catch you, and you got a
yep,
pretty good picture that you can use. Leave Cam's logo on it. Everybody knows, and then it looks good for you, looks good for everything else. So,
that's right. That's right. Yep.
so since you're a pro, and of course we know you're sponsored, you got plenty of I see some checks behind you and some plaques behind you. Go on and tell everybody what all you shoot and
All
what
right.
equipment you're
So
running.
I'm shooting a. Do you want to know a setup or just companies in general?
Just you whatever you want to talk about, but I mean, let's give everybody needs to know what companies you shoot. So,
All right. So I shoot for Elite Archery bows, and then Black Eagle arrows, gas bowstrings, clear target lenses for your scope on your sight,
oh
and
Doc,
then yep, a bowfinger sight, bowfang, and I've got their stabilizers on as well.
and their mounts.
Yep, and their scope,
Yep,
and then let's see, a Hamsky Trinity Target Pro, I believe is the name of that one.
yep,
Yep, that wrist, and then uh, I'm just running a specialty podium peep.
yep.
Um, I've got like 5 of them. I've had those
Yeah,
for
you've
forever.
had them forever. Yeah, I know we've talked about that.
Yeah, True Ball. I'm shooting a True Ball blade release right now.
Yep,
I love that thing. I got it for hunting season just because it stayed on the D loop,
it
and
clipped on. You can just leave it there.
that thing's awesome, man.
Yep,
Uh, let's see, Tack Vanes, uh, Maven Optics, the binocular company, and then
and they're working their way into the scene. From what I mean, not. I mean, I know several of the pros that are using them, but I
yep,
mean, it takes a minute to get into this scene. So they say they make pretty good optics. I've looked through yours; they were really clean. So, uh,
they're trying to get in it. It's just the hard thing is being able to bring a booth somewhere and
yeah,
say is it worth the sales? You know.
Hey, I understand that completely. I mean, it takes money to make money, and sometimes you lose money on it, and it's like, I could do something else that may make more money. I understand that completely.
But every archer's got a pair of binoculars.
Oh, sure.
Like
They
so,
got to,
yep, and rangefinders too.
that's right. So, and then other than that, where can everybody find you on your socials?
You can find me at Curtis underscore Broadnax on Instagram. You can find I've got an archery page and a personal page on Facebook. Curtis Broadnax Professional Archer is the archery page, and then my account is just Curtis Broadnax. And then I don't remember what my TikTok name is, but I don't ever post anything on there.
He's
That
never
don't matter.
on. He's not on the TikTok. He just watches. He don't post.
Yeah, that's right. I just laugh.
That's right. There's a lot of stuff to laugh at on TikTok. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
there.
But yeah, let's see. And you was talking about elite. I found a picture from the first signed the when they brought you on the first time with Skinny Dave.
You talking about the poster? Is it
Yeah,
me holding?
yeah.
The-
I like look at this now. That
Man,
was something else.
that was a long time ago, man. That
Wasn't
was
it? It's-
what 2016.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I tell
So,
you what, time flies, man. In
dude,
this sport,
who are you
all your
telling?
weekends run together and time
Who?
flies.
I mean,
Like,
who would think it's June?
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it's crazy.
didn't we
There's some
just finish
guys.
indoor season? I mean, don't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But what I was saying though, there's some guys um that I met, and hell, it's been 9 years, man.
Yeah,
And it's like, holy cow, that was 9 years ago.
for real.
You know,
That's right.
crazy.
I tell the story. I watched you shoot your first tournament ever.
You did that. In fact, you did, and you hosted it actually.
Yes. I was I was hosting the event, and you came in with your hunting bow,
Yeah.
and blistered the whole, top scoring the whole place with his hunting bow. And I
Was
was
there?
like, yeah, it was top scoring the whole place. Yep, whole place. Yep. And I was like, this boy's going somewhere. There's no doubt. It was just how it works. It's crazy how that happens.
Man, it
Um,
is. Well, and I met. That was 2015 when we met.
yep, 2014, I think it was 14. Yeah, 14. It was the year before I moved to because I went to work for Ace at 15 in 2015. So it was that year before because
Okay.
you hadn't. Yeah, it was 14. Had to be. And now
Well,
tell me how many years that is.
10 years.
10 years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was that year because that was the first year. I know that
Well,
15 was.
no. Well, I ordered a Energy 35, a red one, and I was getting it for Christmas of 2014.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You didn't have it in that shoot because
No,
that
I
shoot
didn't.
was prior to that.
Yeah,
You were still
yeah,
shooting your hunting bow. Yep.
yeah.
I mean, 14. And then, I mean, I remember like, just move around a little bit. We went to outdoor season that year. Um, you had gotten, I guess it was the energy you were shooting, whatever it was. And 2015, we were in Texas. Or 14, 15, 15, we was in Texas.
15,
Yep.
15. Yeah,
Had to
because I
go.
went to Arizona Cup was my first
First.
ever.
Yep.
That was my first ever national tournament,
Hmm.
and I had never even shot a 50-meter face before that we
I
went.
remember.
Yeah,
But we were down to the end. Texas was the last one.
yeah.
And I remember that because I was like, at that time I was still at the Edenton, still running that club, finishing it up for that. But I already knew that I was hired and going to Ace, and we were trying to finish out the season. Um, I was going to Blake Reagan was shooting, and so we went with
Hmm.
him, and that's just weird to see how long ago that was. I mean, freaking 9, 10 years ago. You know. And here we are now, BSing and having a good time, and still
That's
watching
right.
you shoot your bow, and still doing your thing. Um, I,
Hey, I'm still watching you shoot your bow occasionally.
I do shoot it. I do shoot my bow. I had to. I was doing a lot of things, right? I was wearing a lot of hats.
I
You
just
know,
got
I know,
uh,
but I was wearing a lot of hats. I've shot my hunting bow more than my 3D bow really this year. I mean, that's the
really?
truth. Yeah, because that's the bow I took to tack, and so I
Yep,
wanted to make sure you're going to shoot, 50 to 100 yards constantly. I wanted to make sure it was hitting.
yep.
So I worked with it a lot just to make sure it was good. I didn't do no big tweaks. I just made sure that I was good and then I felt like comfortable that I wasn't going to look stupid. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and, my 3D bow, I pick it up and shoot it at the shop every once in a while, but I ain't been out to shoot 3D. I shot it early in the season, but I haven't shot, excuse me, I haven't shot in a while. I'm hoping to shoot state championship, maybe get a couple in just for the fun of it. I mean, I enjoy keeping in it. You know what I mean? I
Yep,
do
yep,
enjoy
yep.
shooting, and you know as well as I do, we have a good time. During the indoor season, I'd just walk over there, pick the bow up, and start shooting. And I'm like, I don't. It's not about score. It's about having fun.
Yep.
And I
Well,
still don't, knock the rust
I'm
off.
yeah, that's right. Well, I'm gonna do something that's very different. I'm gonna end up hunting with a verdict this year. I think.
That's what you said. I
I'm
can't
going to,
believe.
man.
Why?
Well,
Why?
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
T-
All
t-
our
t-
stands
t-
are set
tell, t-
up.
tell everybody else. Tell
All our
everybody else
stands are
why.
set up where it don't. Well, you go. It's an easier transition back. You know.
That's yeah. Tell everybody why the reason. What you got? Your main reason. All your
Oh,
stands work because they're open. You don't have to worry about small or compact.
yep.
Y'all have good clean stands up there in Ohio,
Yep. Yep. But the reason why is because every year I shoot my hunting bow for 3 months and I don't touch a target bow,
and
and
you get
then when the
and
indoor season,
you
I
get good
completely
at it
smack myself in the face
every time.
because I have to relearn how to shoot a target bow
Yep.
completely, and I'm gonna try to not do that this year.
So you just,
Try to,
you're just not going to put the target bow down. Just put some broadheads on it and keep rolling.
yeah, yes, right.
Well, let me
That's
tell
right.
you how that works. Maybe, I mean, maybe your indoor season will be a little. I mean, you've had some good indoor seasons. I know. I keep digging a little bit, but I mean,
That's
you you,
okay. You
you
can
know.
dig all you want to it, dude. It was bad, man. It was horrible.
But
I
I
don't.
mean, maybe your transition to indoor season won't be so bad because usually by the time indoor season's over, you've picked it up, and then what? You show up to ASA, and there you go, right? And you
Yeah.
did, and then even switching to like you just said, you're fixing to go to outdoor, right?
Yep. Yep.
So you go to outdoor. Uh, where are you headed?
My phone's dying over here.
Oh, he's got to have a plug.
I gotta plug it
We
in.
didn't
Yeah,
talk.
there we
We
go.
didn't talk too long. Um, uh, but yeah, you went to Gator Cup, right? That was your
Mm-hmm.
first outdoor event of the year, right?
No, no, I
Oh,
went to Arizona.
oh, you went to Arizona. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the same thing. It's like, oh my God, I ain't picked this bow up and I got to get started. And you didn't do too bad. You really didn't. And then Gator Cut wasn't too bad. I mean, you know,
My eliminations could have been a lot better, but
yeah. But
it
I
is what
mean,
it is.
what'd you say? Jimmy shot what this weekend?
50 up.
All right. And what did he do? All those, he's a beast, dude.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
he can shoot. Well, here's the thing: Kyle can shoot too, man.
Kyle is,
Kyle's won. He won
yeah,
the first three ASAs this year,
yep.
and then didn't he win the classic last year?
I think so. Yeah.
So
and
that's
then and
four in a
and
row.
and then in all aspects, one Vegas back to back,
Yep.
you know, has showed up. I remember when he showed up at Gator Cup that time, and they're like, he's just here so that he can show you that he can do this too. You
Oh,
know,
he can pound, man.
I
He
mean,
can
he,
lay
he
them in there.
he's a great guy, and he can pound, and those guys just do what y'all do and have a good time. Um,
Well, and to watch him practice, it's pretty crazy because you can watch him practice, and like in indoor, he's not leaving one hole in the center of the X. And then like if you watch him shoot at at 50-meter stuff, he's not really leaving. I mean, his misses are almost on the 10 line.
yeah,
They're still just about X's. You know, it's crazy, man. He can shoot a bow. He can shoot anything,
Hmm.
straight up.
Yeah,
It's and he's always there.
yeah.
You know, so consistent. It's crazy.
Hmm. Maybe he should write a book,
Yeah, maybe.
teach everybody else how to do it.
Yeah, I know. Right?
You know, um, uh, but yeah. So before we get gone, because we're almost done, because your phone's gonna die if we don't. Um, uh, everybody, I hear people all talking about, well, I ain't good enough to shoot in the pro class, or I'm not good enough to do. I remember when you jumped in there early. I think you
Yep.
went. I think you went 1 year early, but that's me and you. We've had that discussion.
Yep.
But tell everybody, it's not as scary as you think.
Well, here's the thing: the intimidation factor is this. You look up to certain people, and this is the intimidation that I had, right? Being experienced it. You
Yep,
know, you jump up, and all the people that you look up to as archers, you're now shooting side by side with them and competing against them. But the whole thing is if you think you have it, you know, you think you can compete with them,
go on
jump
and
up
do it.
there and do it. There, I mean, it's no different than anybody else. And it's the thing that kills me is, you know, people they want to shoot like, just say for example, like known 50,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Well, why not just go to known pro if if you have a stellar weekend, well, that your score would be really close to a shoot off in known pro, so you might as well just shoot for more, and
Well, that's
grab
true.
the bull by the horns.
Hey, go get it. I mean,
Yeah, man.
you know, the entry fee is a little higher though. Um,
But that is true. That is true.
entry
But
fee is a little higher.
yeah, that is true. But I if all the people that you look up to, if you really think that you can compete, if you're shooting scores that compete with them, just go for it. Because if
For
you
sure.
don't, and just say you shoot lights out, you could have beat them too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what'd you think, Kurt? You have fun? This is the first time you've been on the
Oh
cast.
yeah, yeah. No, I enjoy it,
Uh,
man. I
uh,
really do. I enjoy it.
you know, what was it the other day when we was talking about how many times you've been in a shoot down and we messed it up and you could say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that's the point. I want people, if I make a mistake, hey, we're all human. We all make mistakes. So,
Oh,
um,
that's right.
but,
That's right.
I appreciate it very much, Curtis. I hope you have a wonderful, flight out. I hope y'all have wonderful weather and I hope to see you on the podium for the weekend.
Well,
Um,
I really appreciate it, man. I really, really do, and thank you for having me on here.
yep.
And I hope you can see me on the podium too.
Well,
So,
let's see. Until next time, take someone, teach them how to shoot a bow. It will last them a lifetime. I'm Big John, and you are,
Curtis.
and I see he hasn't got that part yet, and
Uh-uh.
and we'll see y'all.